Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, and scholars are noting a fascinating development going on with secession. Now, we tend to think of secession, of course, in pretty dramatic terms, like what we saw with the Civil War back in the 1860s. But scholars have noted that there are far more subtle ways that populations can secede or separate themselves from what's referred to as the national enterprise. And what's so interesting here is that this intentional separation is happening at all kinds of levels in a number of sectors of society. And it's happening with both the political left and the political right. In fact, the cultural identities and political programs of blue states and red states are so fundamentally at odds. It really does appear that we're becoming two fundamentally different countries within a single nation. And so many of us are carving out micro-nations within the larger nation so as to be able to live out our values, particularly our values of faith, family, and freedom. All the while, the larger federal enterprise has gone insanely woke. And scholars are pointing to a number of examples of this. Shall we call it soft secession? First and foremost, we're seeing a dramatic shift in where people are intentionally living. And it's not just a mass exodus from blue states to red states. That's certainly happening. But it's actually even more concentrated than that. We're seeing a mass exodus from blue counties to red counties. A new report just published by Issues and Insights found that a huge number of people are moving out of counties that voted for Biden into counties that voted to re-elect Donald Trump. The census data shows that almost 2.6 million residents left blue counties and moved to red counties since Biden was elected. In fact, more than 61% of the 555 counties that voted for Biden, over 330 of those counties, lost population due to people moving out. By contrast to the over 2,500 counties that Trump won, 65% gained population. So it's a virtual one-to-one correlation. For every one person Biden counties lost, Trump counties gained. So people are increasingly self-segregating and moving closer to those who share their values and, in effect, seceding, separating themselves, who they consider antithetical to their political and cultural values. And now we're seeing the political fruit of this mass migration, particularly in the astounding rise of what's come to be known as Second Amendment sanctuaries. Since their inception during the Obama era, Second Amendment sanctuaries promise safe haven for gun owners, with law enforcement officials promising to protect rather than violate their Second Amendment rights. Since their inception, Second Amendment sanctuaries have exploded across the nation, such that today, the vast majority of all counties in the country have officially designated themselves Second Amendment sanctuaries. Nearly 2,000 of the just over 3,000 counties have designated themselves pro-gun counties. In addition, countless sheriffs across the nation have pledged to uphold the Second Amendment, including every single sheriff in the state of Utah. Which, of course, begs the question, what are you doing to uphold your Second Amendment rights? If you're a patriot and you're not prepared to defend your home and your family, you have got to click on the link below right now and visit our good friends over at Countrywide Concealed and get your concealed carry permit once and for all. I know if you're like me, you've been putting it off, right? You wanted to do it. You've always meant to do it, but you've been put off because of all the ridiculous barriers and requirements, the pain, the hassle of getting what is ironically our constitutional right. Well, guess what? There's now an amazing solution to all of that. Countrywide Concealed is probably the quickest and easiest way for you to get your permit. And the coolest thing is that permit is good in the vast majority of the country. That's right. You won't have a permit to conceal carry just in your own state. You'll have it in 84% of the whole of the nation. It's as quick and easy as just watching a video and taking a quiz. And thanks to Countrywide Concealed, your family is that much safer no matter where you go. Getting a concealed carry license has literally never been easier. Click on that link below and join the millions of patriots who've taken back their rights with Countrywide Concealed today. With the rise of Second Amendment sanctuaries, more and more counties are beginning to reassert their sovereignty, even when it comes to their borders. Just a few weeks back, residents of Wallowa County in eastern Oregon came out en masse and voted to become the 12th Oregon county to secede from their state with the hopes of joining their neighboring red state, Idaho, which is now being dubbed the Greater Idaho Movement. 12 counties and counting. Several more counties are scheduled to hold similar votes in the near future, which means that all told, we're talking half of Oregon's counties, half are preparing to secede from their state and join up with deep red Idaho. And the Idaho legislature is all for it. And it's not just the Greater Idaho Movement. Look at this. 27 counties in Illinois have passed pro-secession referendums. And of course, the Republican Party of Texas has endorsed a vote on Texit, a referendum that would effectively recalibrate Texas as a sovereign nation. But again, there's even more subtle ways Americans are seceding from a system they believe to be, at least at this point, incurably corrupt. For example, we're seeing a mass exodus from our public schools. The number of homeschooled students has quadrupled over the past 2 decades, from 1 million in the year 2000 to nearly 4 million this year. The number of students enrolled in charter schools has more than doubled, from 1.7 million in 2010 to 3.7 million in 2021. And it's not just students, it's teachers, it's administrators. There's nothing short of a mass exodus from woke public schools, which points to an even wider secessionist phenomenon, and that's, of course, the rise of a parallel economy. We're seeing the rise of parallel news media, like what we do here on this channel, parallel social media, like the new Patriot-based Twitter or Truth Social, parallel currencies like crypto, parallel colleges, conservative colleges. We got parallel payment processing systems, parallel medical insurance like healthcare cost-sharing organizations, parallel job finder sites like our good friends Red Balloon, made up completely of anti-woke companies. We could go on and on. We got parallel satellites that Elon Musk has been putting up in outer space. He's even talking about creating an entire parallel phone and telecommunicative system. But as you can see, it's all part of this larger soft secessionist trend that deliberately seeks to separate in order to protect and preserve the timeless values that we love. And if what's happening right now at all levels of society is any indicator, those values will only further flourish in the future. Hey gang, I know what it's like to feel alone out there in these turbulent times, but I broke free. If you too have been looking for a community with like-minded patriots who are serious about resisting globalism, building a parallel economy, and having intelligent and deep fellowship on a regular basis, then you've come to the right place. In my Courageous Patriot Insiders community, we're building a close-knit movement of, by, and for patriots who are breaking free from the outrage and despair cycles of the mainstream media and taking on the fight against globalism. Every week, I deep dive into the content I can't share on big tech and give you the cliff notes on the truth of how patriots just like you are building up their communities, starting patriot businesses, and fighting the woke in both public and private. All with a few history and political lessons from yours truly, of course. If you want to stop feeling alone as a patriot and stand together with this fast-growing community, be sure to click on the link in the description below. Don't wait. Join me and my Patriot Coalition today, and let's get fighting.